So the thing with applying science in your training program is that science is ever evolving and you constantly have to stay updated if you want to utilize the latest and greatest techniques. This said, I do think that you should apply science to some extent to make the most out of your training program. But you shouldn't rely on just what a few studies say. I let smarter people than me do all the meta-analyzing to tell me how to train. I have come across a recent study that I think is very interesting and that I want to share with you guys. In the last few years, a lot of studies have shown very great promise in the stretched portion of a lift, where the muscle is loaded at long lengths. For example, the bottom of a squat, a bench press, the initial phase of a bicep curl, or tricep extension. A lot of these studies also found greater potential for only working in this stretched range up until halfway through the rep. This is called a long length partial, instead of working through the full range of motion. And in a few examples, this showed up to 150% more growth than using a full range of motion. However, all of these studies were done in untrained lifters. And we now have a smoking hot study where trained lifters actually were the test subjects. Here, every lifter trained unilateral movements. This means they only used one arm with every exercise. And on one side of their body, they did exclusively lengthened partials, and on the other side, they did a full range of motion for every exercise. Now, just to be clear, a long length partial is still done with good form. Partial reps with a lot of flopping around, in my book, that's a no rep. The program itself in the study spanned over 8 weeks, and the participants only used upper body exercises. Muscle thickness was measured using ultrasound before and after the training program was completed. When the results were in, they found that the side trained with a full range of motion saw an increase of 6.4% in muscle thickness, and the lengthened partial side grew by 5.9%. To break it down even further, they saw a bigger increase from lengthened partials in biceps, but in contrast with triceps, they saw a small increase using full range of motion. So pretty interesting findings to say the least. And what do I think are the takeaways from these results? I have always advocated for a full range of motion on all your exercises, and I will continue to do so. But in recent years, I've started leaning more towards exercises that put your muscles under load when they're stretched. For example, I tend to go deeper on a squat than I did before. I do a Bayesian cable curl over a standard dumbbell curl, or a cable lateral raise instead of a dumbbell lateral raise. This is exclusively to load the tissue when it's stretched. Well, does this mean that you can never do a standing dumbbell curl again if you want to get big? No, it doesn't. It's very important to actually choose exercises that you enjoy when training. If you, for example, enjoy standing dumbbell curls over everything else, then by all means, go for it. You'll still grow. But if you, for example, have 2 bicep exercises planned in your workout, I would advise you to choose one of them that puts your bicep under load when it's stretched, and maybe one that you do just because you really enjoy doing that particular exercise. Another way to implement stretch bias in your training is to do your exercises with a full range of motion, and when you hit failure, do a few long length partial reps to really squeeze out everything that you can from that set. I've been doing this the last few months and I've seen great results. Have you tried long length partials before? Leave a comment, let me know what you think of them. When it's all done and dusted though, I do really think that there are a few things that are more important than focusing on the stretch and all of this science stuff. 1, in your training, use proper form, no flopping around, actually feel your target muscle working. If you're doing a dumbbell curl, you're training your biceps. not your hips. And push the set hard. All of your working sets should be taken to at least 2 reps within failure. Number 2, nutrition. Be sure to hit the protein goal for your body weight, somewhere around 2 grams per kilo body weight. Then fill up with fat. Get about 1 gram of fat per kilo body weight each and every day. This is to support testosterone production and overall hormone health. Then fill up the rest of your calories with carbs. You can calculate how much calories you need per day with a BMR calculator. I'll throw in a link to a calculator like this in the description. Number 3, get at least 7 hours of sleep each and every night to support recovery and muscle growth. Will you change your training after seeing the results of this study, or will it stay the same? Comment below. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time, and until then, stay swole.